Hey everybody, how you doing out there? It is Casey Walker 805 at the letter Y, mail.com. I kind of always start my videos with my email address, so if you ever want to get in contact with me, you can. Pardon the glare, but it's kind of hot here in Central California, and I don't feel like turning on a bunch of lights to make my room even hotter. So hopefully the camera does the cartridge justice, but if not, I hope you understand. So getting right into it, I talk about it all the time. 90s Braves teams, from the early 90s right through to the end of the 90s almost. Was just a huge fan of those teams and those players. And one of the most unheralded players from those teams, just a solid guy and a consistent hitter and player, Ryan Klesko. I got this out of, it was like one of those random pack things you get, Chesterfield, Reboxing, or you might find in the impulse aisle at Rite Aid or CVS or something. And it was in there. There was a Royce Clayton, shout out to all the Frisco fans and a few other ones. And this is one of them. And I actually love it. It's from Pro Cards, who I imagine is probably a terrible out of business card company. But I do love the card. It's his minor league card. You can kind of see some of his stats. Big kid, 6'3", 220, bats left, throws left. And he was just a big part of those teams and making those teams what they were. And this guy was, right there with him. I wish I was as slick as Aaron, and I knew all the stats. I don't. I just know John Smoltz made it into the Hall. I know he's an equally amazing announcer. His the way he breaks down the game, for me now, coming back and being like a real diehard baseball fan again, makes it easy to catch on and catch up to. And he was a great starter and then became a closer, and it was a huge part of them making deep runs and winning a bunch of pennants or league chips, and then actually a World Series championship as well. So shout out to John Smoltz. Mark, I feel like every time I buy a Lindor, I got to mention your name. Shout out to Mark from Kentucky. This has like a lot of refractor action going on. You can kind of catch it right there. It's a like multicolored. Is that even a word? Multicolored refractor. You can kind of catch a little bit of it there. Paying a little homage to the 87 Tops. It's chrome and it's Lindor. And congratulations, you have just purchased a filthy Lindor card. And shout out to the guy I bought it from off of eBay. He literally sent it in a Merry Christmas card. I appreciate the protection and the repurposing of the Christmas card. I do not know you, and just thought it was an ingenious way to use those Christmas cards that some people just never end up doing anything with. Kept the card safe and got it out, so congratulations. This card right here is a Longoria rookie. Kind of was a fan of his when I used to watch baseball sporadically in the 2000s. I was in the radio and had a lot of long nights and didn't follow baseball like I do now, and I did when I was a younger kid. But this is his Gaudy rookie. And this is hilarious to me. Ken Griffey Jr. says, that's Derek Jeter. So I don't know, maybe there's a dossier on the back here about Longoria from Ken Griffey Jr., but that's just funny shit to me. Another Longoria rookie. Saw a few of these pop up online at a very, very reasonable price. It is a Bowman. I always feel like I fall for the 41 fake and think that's a real signature, but then I look at what I pay for the card and I know it's not. Stud player, consistent every year, gets it in. This is my probably 10th time asking this, but if anybody has any of this guy's cards, even if you're a Dodger fan, I take doubles, base, I will buy doubles, base, anything that you got. I think he is going to be an absolute monster. He just turned 20, or maybe he's like in his mid 20th year, not even 20s, his mid 20th year. Left hand guy, has a lot of junk, and brings a lot to the table. And Platinum Report, bet your ass you will see him. And I hope he stays a Dodger for life. We've got a lot of young talent there in the city. Here is another one of those guys, Jock Peterson. It's the rookies. What kind of subset things you could pick up at a Toys R Us and KB Toys and Target and random stores they used to have back in the days. So it's a play off of that. But it is a Jock Peterson rookie. Lit it up a couple years ago. He's not doing real great right now, but I support him, and I think he has a chance to bounce back. They are just extremely deep. I think maybe the Cubs, the Yankees, man, there's not many teams that have as much young talent on the mound and in the field as them. And the Dodgers are also notorious for letting guys like this get away. We had him in our stable. I bet you couldn't tell me without Googling what we got back in return for letting him go or not re-signing him. It wasn't like we didn't have the money. We always have the money. I like this guy. A few years back, I watched the World Series and watched him pitch. And he stood out to me. Great pitcher, strong arm. Was a stud, put them on his back, him and Wainwright, and won that World Series. So I know he's last year or so he's kind of up and down, but he's still young. He's still got a chance to bounce back. And his shittiest pitching is nowadays. I see people going crazy for some pitchers that I look at their stats and I go back to a guy like Maddox or Koufax or even Randy Johnson. And you go, man, everybody's going crazy over this guy. I wanted to show this card just to show you my philosophy in collecting cards. That is Lou Gehrig, and that is Babe Ruth, and then it's back-to-back tops. This camera angle and the lighting is not going to do it justice. You keep seeing the back of my phone right there. It's fucking getting on my nerves. But this is a gorgeous card. There's like water splashing. Kind of just great artistic integrity and work, and whoever put this together did a hell of a job, and I paid 25 cents for it, shipped. So that's where I'll leave that at. Watched him in the World Baseball Classic. A lot of people are high on him. I don't see it. So I'm just kind of picking up base stuff. He's extra 500. Maybe he had like one season so far where he's got 3 or 4 more wins over losses, but his ERA is low, and which leads me to believe besides Donaldson, they probably suck ass at hitting in Toronto right now. Or when he gets on the mound, they suck because he does well striking people out. And his ERA is low, and he was a stud in the World Baseball Classic, minus that hiccup the first time they played the Foreigners. But slider frame, the guy's 5'8" and like $175 and throws gas. So shout out to him. Just wanted to show this card. I got these. Somebody gifted these to me. I believe they're 71, 70. Tops football cards, cool cards. They're in the same sleeve, so the book value is not great, but I just think the colors and the actual design back then, people took time in, and a basic design without a lot of shine to it can stand out. Got some more of these at a really good price. These Leonard Williams, so these will be going out. If I can keep getting them at the price I'm getting them at, anybody that even has a Jet hat, shirt, anything on, make sure you get one of those cards because I'm just getting them real cheap. Somebody had a stash of them and they're letting them go. Syndergaard, I think he's on the DL right now, but I do like him as a pitcher. He's one of the few guys out there that I think have a bright future and has been done well so far. Got this with that card at a great deal, and it's his Future Stars out of Topps. So I picked it up. That's a Harvey from the Mets. Malcolm Brogdon. I don't know if the voting is done yet or if they said it yet, but if he doesn't get Rookie of the Year, he's gotten robbed. Mark my words, the Milwaukee Bucks, if not next year, the year after that, they will win the East Division. They got just some studs, and all they need is like one or two decent veterans. And with the TV money kicking in the way it's kicking in, they'll be able to afford a couple of veterans to head that way and play. And they made a huge push in the playoffs without Jabari Parker. He was hurt the last part of the season. So if you're a Bucks fan, start gobbling that stuff up while it's affordable. Top 5 corners in the league, lockdown, playmaker, Clinton Dix. Shout out to Packers Cards 87. I think is his handle on YouTube. I like to watch his videos. He's a huge Jordy fan, and I'm all for a white guy that plays wide receiver and has wheels and is athletic. These last ones are just in penny sleeves, but I want to show them because I think they're cool cards. If you have the money and you can afford to get this stuff graded in 10, get it. Garnett has now become a commentator. He's being more and more involved as people get to know him away from the court. And I used to always tell people he was Tim Duncan with flair. If you look at their numbers, they're real similar. He didn't have the help that Duncan had, but when he did get a chip. And the guy was a hell of a player and talked a lot of shit and backed it up. And I'm all about backing up the head if you're talking it. The GOAT, that's all we'll say about that. Ike Hilliard going to get this out to my man Mike. I don't know if he has it or not, but if he has it, Mike, this will be an addition to your collection. And if not, it is headed your way. This guy early in the 2000s was a stud. I don't know all the stats off the top of my head, but I do know he was a hell of a wide receiver and helped out Eli early in his career. And last but not least, 82 Topps George Foster card. I did not know, I wasn't old enough to follow the big red machine or the A's teams or Dodger teams for that part. Orioles, like some of those great teams of the early 70s throughout the late 70s. Yankees snuck in there at the end and got a chip or two. But I just want you to look at the power that nowadays they would say that this guy got on roids. It just seemed like he got more at bats and probably got a better lineup around him. So like by his second or third season in Cincinnati, when they got some guys around him, 23 home runs, 29, 52, 40, 30, 25, 22. I mean, there was just an explosion of home runs when he got a good lineup around him. So not everybody that hits for power and is athletic is on juice. And just because you're on juice doesn't mean you're going to be a great hitter. So that's that. Once again, Casey Walker, 805, CASEY Walker, 805, the letter Y, mail.com. Hit me up. I got a bunch of stuff, 87 Top stuff I'm trying to give away, doubles of cards I'm trying to give away. So if you're interested, I would love to pay it forward, like this gentleman did here with this Merry Christmas card. Can you believe that shit?